Hello everyone, here's Felipe or Gato de Salto, and I am in beautiful San Francisco right here to tell you a few words about competition and competing as a samba dancer. So stay tuned. So competing is horrible. I hate competitions. Oh my god, it's so stressful. It makes you doubt yourself. It's really something that you need to be very well prepared for mentally, and in the specific field you're competing. You know, where you're getting into the competition for. And I have done a few competitions in the past, and I have to say, it is not my thing. However, they are very important. Competitions and any types of exams are there for you to be able to show what you know. For many people, exams and competitions are stressful and are definitely a stressful situation. I understand, it's the same for me. But actually, we don't need to think like this. You can see competition as a way of just showing what we know. The same with exams in school or the university. You know, if we change that perspective, if we adjust the way we think about it, and it's not competing and getting afraid of, oh my gosh, I won't remember anything, then the probability is that we are not going to perform well. But if you have it in your mind that it's just a situation, a fun situation in a way, where you can show what you know and what you've learned and your passion about the subject that you are competing about, that changes everything. I did join 2 competitions recently as a participant, and one, I was dancing because of everything that Gato de Salto represents, and that was amazing. I did not join to win. I did not join to astonish the public. I really just wanted to be there, you know, as Gato de Salto, and have the courage myself to do that. And the other competition I joined because I really needed a video of me performing. So my goal was just to get that one video and not to win the competition. It ended up I got 3rd place, which was amazing, and I'm still, you know, in heaven about it, because it was a competition that never before had a male participant dancing as a male, even though I wear high heels. So I am still very thrilled about it, but that was not the point. That was not my goal. My goal was just to get a very good video of me performing on the stage, and I got what I wanted, and at the same time impress the public and judges. So my goal was not the competition or the exam. My goal was always something else. It's important for you to remember that competing takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to get out there and be judged. But it's very important for you to muster that courage and that feeling. You know, it's competing sucks in different ways, but it's such a great way for you to learn and to grow as an artist and as a dancer. So I highly recommend competing. Last weekend I was in Phoenix, Arizona. I was one of the judges for the US Samba King and Queen competition that took place in Phoenix. And it was an amazing event. I had a lot of fun. I had to teach. People were enthusiastic. They were willing and eager to learn. It was an amazing event by itself. But there was also the competition in the evening, where I got to be the judge for the first time. And it was an amazing experience for me being judge and seeing everyone so eager to perform. And I did see many mistakes that could have been easily avoided with the right mindset and with the right perspective and approach to the competition. So that's why I said, okay, you know what? Let me enjoy the fact that the competition just took place and record a video, which I think is important for everyone. Let me start by telling you what we judges got and what the criteria of our judging was during the competition. I have a cheat sheet as usual. So the first criteria was musicality. The performers were dancing to live music, just for you to know. The second criteria was power and energy. So how exciting it was to watch the performance and the solo. The third criteria was costume and presentation, very important. Fourth criteria, samba no pé and technique of movements. And the fifth and last criteria, which was the hardest one for me to judge, was authenticity. So with authenticity, they meant the performer, if the performer represents the culture and the tradition of Brazilian samba. Every time a dancer came up on stage, we had to fill in this form and grade the dancer. And we didn't have much time for it. So, you know, as a judge, I can tell you that we don't have enough time to judge every single participant as we should. So basically, first impressions do count very, very much. And this is the first valuable lesson of the day. So if you ever took any of my classes in heels, at least this year, I don't know how I'll be teaching next year, but this year I do focus a lot in walking. And walking and all of the walking techniques is so important, people. Already the way you walk into the stage already influences your first impression on the judges, on the public. If you just walk in all sloppy onto the stage, the public and the judges will immediately know, oh, she or he doesn't know what he or she is doing. So whenever you walk in with all the technique, you know, that I teach in my classes, or having an active walk, stretched legs, long stride walks, or even if they're short, but being very firm and sure of what you're doing, that comes across really well. Now, once you made it through that, you walked onto the stage and you hit your first pose, just to let people absorb the idea of what you are and the costume. The first thing that I think is very important is to greet. I think that three main focus of greetings that you should have as a performer when you come onto the stage. If you're performing with live music and you have live musicians on the stage with you, it's just a matter of politeness. Greet the musicians, you know, with a reverence or a bow, I don't know, but you have to greet the musicians. Secondly, you have to greet the public, the spectators who are watching your show. And of course, if you are being judged, you also must greet and say hello in a way to greet the judges. You know, it's very important. It shows respect. It shows that you acknowledge their presence. So I think greeting is very important. I don't really have an opinion which way or in which order you should greet. If it's first bateria and then judges and then I don't know. But you know, you have to greet everybody because this leaves such a nice atmosphere and impression behind. So greeting is very important as well. I saw a lot of dancers who are very, very eager, and you know, and they confuse perhaps the idea of having energy and showing energy into being really outgoing and out there and almost too much, you know, especially when walking onto the stage. They basically just rush or run onto the stage and not enjoy the fact that the music was still playing very, very slow. When the music is low, when the bateria is playing slow, you should enjoy every move, every step you take should be meaningful. You should savor it. There is no point, it's just because you know you're being judged by power and energy for you to get onto the stage or bang, 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 and the music is still going slow. Also, you will need that energy. If you're performing for 2 or 3 minutes on a solo, you will need a lot of energy. So, you know, relax, take a big breath in. Work with your posture, work with your angles, work with your poses, and while the music is low, walk in an active way. If you start doing the samba, do the samba on tempo, but you know, don't go crazy as soon as you step onto the stage as a competitor, because this also has an influence on the judges and on the spectators. Don't forget that competition is a game, and you need to know how to play the game. You need to have a strategy. So if you know that the bateria starts low, use that. That also goes with musicality. Use that slowliness of the bateria. Use all of the beats, feel of the beats, reproduce all of the beats in your body, because it's slow enough. And when the bateria speeds up, then you catch up on the tempo, you catch up on the energy, and you explode, and you show the explosion. So it's also nice to show a variation of energy when you are on stage. And of course, when the bateria does go up, you need all of the energy you have. That's the moment to attack, okay? No need to attack as soon as you get onto the stage. I don't know if that makes sense. Another thing that I think is always very important to mention is the posture. Now, the posture of a dancer has to be very, very good. You know, you're representing so much. So posture, as your posture is already very important, but also the posture and in terms of how you behave on stage. Now, if you have watched all of my previous videos, you know that I'm strongly against any type of vulgarity, and there are few moves that I strongly recommend you not to use on your solo. You know, many girls use some of the moves that I don't like. That does not mean I gave them bad grades. That just meant I was like, oh, why? You know, because some things that you do on stage, like hands, or you know, going down all the way to the floor, those things, they just increase how Samba is viewed in a vulgar way. We don't want Samba to be vulgar. We don't want to objectify the body of the dancer and Samba itself. So I strongly recommend to leave all vulgarity behind. There is a way of being sexy on stage. I highly recommend you to use sensuality with your eyes, when you smile, and when you're walking onto the stage, when you're walking in general. I think that's a very good point, a very good time to express sensuality, because it can't go wrong. You can't take it very much into vulgarity if you have common sense, and you know what I'm talking about. So another thing I saw is that people would not have a structure to their solo and their presentation, and also in my classes I talk a lot about it. Having a solo of any kind, the best thing you can do is to have a structure. Like, I'm going in from this side, I'm performing in the middle, and then I'm going to this corner, crossing the stage, performing in dancing Samba on this corner, coming back to the middle, dancing Samba in the middle, and then walking out of the stage. It's very important to have a structure like this. This is going to help you maximize your abilities, you know, and your Samba. What I saw was a lot of people, they would start dancing Samba eventually, and then they would just move across the stage dancing Samba, and then move to the other side. People, dancing Samba from point A to point B, the basic Samba step, is highly difficult. It's extremely difficult to keep up a good technique, keep up the hip movement, keep up your breath, and keep up your energy. It's so difficult. I do not recommend doing that unless you are very, very good. It's a lot better to stay and do the Samba at one spot, and then take an affundo and walk to the other side of the stage, and then you know, add a hair flick or a turn or whatever, and then you do Samba no pé again, and then you walk to the other stage. You know, there's no need for you to actually Samba across the stage. This is very, very difficult. I would not do that unless I considered myself very, very good. Okay, moving on. I have my cheat sheet. Now, I saw many people were also very concerned about their choreography, and what they have trained before. As I said, it's good to have a strategy and perhaps one or two moves that you want to do, and you know you will do it on stage. That will help you a lot. Now, if you do have a choreography, it's important that you automatize this choreography, that you rehearse it so much that your body knows exactly where it should go. I saw many people who were stressed because of choreography, and that's not the point of the competition. The point is not for you to get your choreography across. The point is for you to get your knowledge and your personality across. Okay? So I saw many people who were clearly showing in their faces, they're like, oh my gosh, I messed up. Oh my gosh, I forgot something. Or even worse, counting. You know, they were really counting. I could see that they were counting. Sometimes they're even moving their mouths like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 7, 8, and blah, blah. And that was like, no. And some of the dancers that I watched, they were not counting, but they were singing the beat. I'm okay with singing the song, you know, if it's if there is harmonia. So if you have someone playing and someone singing, you can sing along. That just makes everything more fun, you know. But singing the beat, I saw that for the very first time, and I don't think I like it. You know, what do you mean by singing the beat? It's like the dancer would be dancing, and then the bateria would turn, so the dancer would go. You know, just singing the beat, which is fine. It shows that you have musicality, and it's good for you to learn as well. But I'm not sure how I feel about actually moving your lips and singing it. You know, it's good for you to have in your head. Boom, boom. You know, if you have all those breaks in your head, it's great. But you keep a smile or you keep any other type of expression, but do not sing the breaks. So since we are already talking about it, many dancers forgot their mouth. They were doing something funny with their mouth, or they simply ignored their mouth, and their mouth sometimes were going like, I don't know, strange things. That's fine, all of those expressions are fine, shows that you're having a lot of fun, but I prefer to keep very simple mouth. So if you are, you know, if you're trying to express sensuality, then perhaps is a half smile your bet. If you are trying to express sweetness, a sweet smile is best. And if you're trying to express energy and joy, then a big broad smile is best. You know, you always have to think about what you're trying to express. This actually brings me to my next point, which is express something. You need to use Samba to express what you're feeling inside, you know, or a feeling that you would like to express. So it's very important for you to keep that in your mind when you're dancing. That makes the entire difference, and that will help you with the face expression and will help your mouth be neutral. And you know, if you're having trouble with knowing what to express, tell a story, you know. I like to think that every dancer, every Samba dancer needs to know how to work with 3 emotions at least, which are sensuality, elegance, and joy. And there are very specific moments when to express that. Samba is an art form, and just like any art form, like sculpture or painting, you need to express something. That's why it's there. There's no point in being pageant plastic-like, you know, with a plastic-like smile and a plastic-like expression, just empty. That is horrible. That is really outrageous in my opinion. That takes away the entire meaning of the dance. Another thing that can have a very negative impact on your performance are the arms. Arms have to be trained the best way you can and very intensively, because arms can throw you off beat. Arms can pollute the cleanliness of your choreography or of your routine, of your appearance. Arms can disturb, can be too much, can cross your face, you know, can hide your face, can, I think, in my opinion, as I also say in my classes, arms should be as neutral and natural as possible. And another thing that I've noticed, which was also one of the criteria we were judging, was costume and presentation. Now, costumes, of course, there were many, many beautiful, gorgeous costumes, and I was very, very highly impressed by many costumes. but some of the costumes did have malfunctions. You know, things that broke, or I don't know, let's say a boob who was a bit adventurous and was trying to escape out, if you know what I mean. Those costumes malfunctions, they are very tricky. You know, we know as judges, we know it's not the dancer's fault, but they're very distracting, you know. So I was watching, when we were watching something, and then suddenly a bead string breaks and explodes and you have beads flying everywhere. I was not focusing on what the dancer was doing. Or, you know, if there is perhaps a boob almost coming out of the bra and it's like, oh my gosh, is it going to come out? Is it going to, you know, the focus is no longer what the dancer is doing. The focus is no longer the routine and the technique and the presentation and the energy. The focus is like, am I going to see her boob? You know, we forget about everything else and everyone just focuses on that. So that's why it's very important to invest and use high quality costumes and make sure and try them beforehand to know that everything fits, that nothing is going to escape out of nowhere and surprise the judges and surprise the public. And finally, as I said at the beginning of the video, competing sucks, I know. It's harsh, it's stressful, it's a lot of time and money that you invest, but it's very important. When you get yourself a video of what you've done on stage, and you get to watch it and you get to see everything that you possibly could have done better, there is no better way of improving. And there's also this sense of community and friendship that when you're performing with your friends, you know, just going to the venue and getting ready together or practicing together for the choreography or whatever, these things are, you know, they're priceless. This spirit, this community spirit, this friendship, this is what Samba is about too, is this love that is just shared, you know, between all of you and all of your friends. And if you are a solo dancer, practicing, listening to the music, practicing the routine, practicing your moves, there's really no better way of improving. So even though I don't like competitions myself, I do believe I will force myself to join a few competitions in the future just to be able to improve. I think this is the best way to improve. And finally, I would like to finish this video by saying something that I heard that I think is absolutely beautiful. It's a little proverb and says that a flower is not worried about how beautiful the flower next to it is. It just blooms. So I think that leaves us with a very important message. You know, when you're competing, when you're joining a competition, go out there and bloom. Show what you can do. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel so you know when a new video is out on the way. And yes, that's it. Big kisses from the beautiful San Francisco and Bay Area.